Mercedes Targa Florio has to go back on the road. It has to do what it can do best, just war and race.
We all know the talent of George Russell, so there's not a lot to explain. It's a lot of fun to drive this car.
Super impressed, such a beautiful car, and with this scenery as well here in Italy. I couldn't imagine what it would have been like racing through these streets. Taking into consideration it's 100 years old, it drove so nicely, and then when I took some speed around one of the left-hand corners, it was actually handling absolutely fine. I think the biggest difference was getting used to using the clutch pedal again. At the moment in Formula 1 you have the paddle shifts on the back of the steering wheel, automated clutch, so we only have 2 pedals. Here we have 3, which I've obviously driven many times in a road car before, but you have a throttle in the middle, the clutch on the left and the brake on the right, which takes a little bit of getting used to. But driving a car that's 100 years old, it handled really nicely. I'm really looking forward to driving this around a race circuit, because as much as I'm loving driving it around these country roads, I want to go full gas in the straight, feel the true handling without having to worry about going through a field like this.
I think on the Imola racetrack it's easier to drive this car than on the road. So there is no oncoming traffic, there are no big bumps.
After one lap, you feel comfortable in this thing, and I think that's why it's incredible. It's 100 years old, yet it drives just like a car from today. And seeing the Mercedes star on the front, a real privilege for me. The air is incredible, so you drive this car full gas around this circuit. The car was moving so much through the corners. Obviously the tyres are only about this wide, so there wasn't much grip, but the engine just was running so smoothly, and the noise was incredible. It makes the hair stand up on my skin.
Es ist wie ein Rennpferd, das gehört raus, es muss laufen. Und dass er jetzt auch so durchläuft, das ist schon ein bisschen die Entschädigung für die ganze harte Arbeit, wo das ganze Team reingesteckt hat. Das ist schon was Schönes jetzt.
Solitude is a racetrack and a famous destination. It used to be one of the most prestigious racetracks in Germany. When we won the Targa Florio and the Coppa Florio in the very same year, we gained victory here at the Solitude mountain race. It's a wonderful moment to see here the family of the winning driver of Mr. Werner, who was a class of its own at its time.
Now feeling how this car acts is just unbelievable, and you can't explain what these guys at that time did, and especially what Christian Werner did over 8 hours.
Das war ein super Gefühl, in dem restaurierten Auto zu sitzen. Ich bin begeistert und denke, was die Rennfahrer damals für Leistungen gebracht haben bei der Targa Florio, das war also ein richtig harter Job. Meine Großmutter hat halt immer erzählt von Dr. Porsche und Neubau, von den Rennleitern und von den damaligen Rennfahrern, Lautenschlager, Salzer, Seiler. Es freut mich, dass die Erinnerung bei der Firma Mercedes-Benz so in Ehren gehalten wird.
Both of them were smiling all around the circuit, and I knew lots of details about this car already, and I think they enjoyed it very much.
Solitude gehört zu Stuttgart wie Spätzle zu der Linse. Viele haben gefragt, wo ist der Targa Florio, wo steht der? Sie sind extra hierher gekommen. Der weiteste vom Nürburgring. Also das hätte ich nicht gedacht, dass das so die Leute mitnimmt. Der schwimmt sich immer mehr frei, das merkst du. Der Motor läuft viel ruhiger, du kannst ihn viel leichter ankurbeln jetzt. Bemerkenswert, wie ruhig das Auto läuft auf der Straße, wie sich das verhält, wie du mit dem Auto lenken kannst, wie toll die Übersetzung sogar hier auf Solitude passt. Du fährst auch hier wie auf der Targa, bloß dritte, vierte Gang und da fühlst du dich noch viel mehr in die Zeit zurückversetzt. Also das Auto ist einfach gemacht für sowas. Hammer.
Yeah, it's amazing. This car is 100 years old. It's a super honor to drive this car. Just George told me that it's really difficult to change gears, as we are quite told, so that's going to be an interesting one. We're just blown away about the technology of back in the day. It's a real pleasure to drive this car. It's all very mechanic, difficult to change gears down without scratching them, but this is what it's all about. This is where automobile racing started.
The Goodwood Festival of Speed has managed over the years to become the big event. It's hundreds of thousands of people over the days between Thursday and Sunday, so it's unique and we all love it. The grandfather of the current Duke, the 9th Duke, he brought Grand Prix racing here to the property. So for us, it's coming home, such a historic ground. It is a great pleasure to present our red racer here.
I love being a passenger of the 1924 Targa Florio car. To be sitting in a car that's 100 years old and it's really going very quickly, and it's super impressive how efficient they were and how well engineered they were. And you think, I mean, things have moved on in 100 years, but they were amazingly advanced and efficient all that time ago. So being in that actual car, being driven by Marcus up the hill was a big treat.
So the two of us, we had a perfect ride. It was an honor for me to have him as a co-driver. Now we go to Pebble Beach in California, Monterey, which is opened by the Tour d'Elegance, and we have the great honor to be the leading car in that tour. That brings that car really to the exposure it deserves. It also honors very much so the outstanding performance and dedication and determination of our team, having worked so hard over the last 2.5 years with so much knowledge and enthusiasm.
To restore a vehicle like this back to its original capabilities, you really need the best of the best. So we're proud of this engineering excellence that we've built up over more than a century.
So basically, looking back now into an almost 35-year career with Mercedes-Benz, this is a highlight of my life with that great brand.
The Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance is almost 75 years old. And I've done 38 years, and I've really watched the evolution. Just when you think you've seen everything historically, great companies like Mercedes-Benz bring something that really brings history back to life.
Well, finally we arrived now here at the Pacific coast, one of the nicest settings in the world. All the rocks and the different climates, breathtaking bridges, being almost 100 years old. Nobody has more often won Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance than Mercedes-Benz. So we are very, very incredibly proud of that. For our Targa Florio baby, it was an extremely successful week. To lead the whole tour down the highway number 1 to Big Sur and back. In this country, people are very interested in history, and to see a vehicle which 100 years ago has won that time most important race, the Targa Florio, that's a thrill for them. And they are very keen to learn about the lightweight technology which was used for the first time here.
Das größte Highlight ist das, was uns noch bevorsteht, was einfach in Sizilien kommt. Und das wird cool. Da kehrt das Auto hin, das ist auf die Veranstaltung, auf das haben wir jetzt die ganze Zeit hingearbeitet. Das wird das Highlight garantiert für das Auto.
We are here at the classical, the historical Targa Florio. That's the eclipse at the place where it all began, where the legend was born.
Targa Florio nasce nel 1906, nel 2016, nel 100 decennale della prima Targa Florio. ACI, io ho deciso di organizzare la Targa Classica. Per ricordare una storia fantastica, per ricordare quello di cui tutti i siciliani sono orgogliosi. Mercedes ha legato il suo nome alla Targa Florio. A me fa molto piacere che questa macchina sia qui, è un onore per noi accoglierla qui.
I was the first one who drove this car and I'm proud of it. So I enjoy every single day driving with this car, and so I'm also looking forward when we go on this historical route for the 108 kilometers.
To smell the air, the enthusiasm by all the spectators who really celebrate the return of the victory car from 100 years ago, that's something very special. 100 years ago, most of it was gravel and no asphalt, no tarmac. It even increases our respect, thinking of our colleagues who did that on the gravel, drifting the cars around the corner, using the brakes, doing it on completely different speed. Chapeau.
Das Foto hat man ja schon immer angeguckt und von früher immer gesehen und kennt. Und auch die Tribüne immer ausfindig gemacht, weil das ist ja eine unglaubliche Geschichte für die Targa Florio, das Gebäude. Und wenn dann auch noch das Auto dabei ist, dann bist du wirklich 100 Jahre zurück.
This is one of the most incredible cars I've ever driven. It's a century old, it's been restored for the 2024 Targa Florio. After competing 100 years ago here on these very same roads, back in 1924 when Mercedes won overall with Christian Werner.
Stolz, dass wir hier sein dürfen, was man nur mit der Technik von damals machen konnte, weil die damals halt einfach schon weltführend waren.
Big experience, excitement, adventure a little bit, and it was really great 2 days for me driving this car here.
We started more than 2.5 years ago, taking the decision for the 100-year anniversary of this unbelievable victory to bring back the car on the road. It was something which enriched all of our lives, something to be remembered by all of us.
After an emotional journey, The team has completed the mission successfully. The Mercedes Targa Florio is back home.